The U.S. Supreme Court set to answer whether top Biden administration officials crossed a constitutional line when asking social media companies to remove posts like this, questioning the safety of COVID vaccines. Perceived overreach, often referred to as jawboning, a term defined in this 1970 article in the New York Times as implied threats by the administration as a means of convincing business or labor to adopt certain attitudes or policies.
You might threaten to cut off government contracts to steel companies that continue to raise their prices. That was one approach that Kennedy took.
It would add, Secretary McNamara informed me this morning, an estimated $1 billion to the cost of our defenses at a time when every dollar is needed for national security and other purposes.
From President Kennedy to President Biden, and most administrations in between, the most common justification for intervening is for the good of the country, including in the case before the court, when top health officials worried the spread of misinformation about COVID-19 vaccines could prevent people from getting them and therefore lead to more illness and death, or notifying big tech companies when their platforms are being used by pedophiles, terrorists, or other foreign adversaries.
We're spending so much of our effort trying to engage with the social media and technology companies because there is a very important role for them to play in terms of monitoring and, in effect, policing their own platforms.
But the Cato Institute's Will Duffield says in most cases, the actions amount to government bullying, as detailed in his in-depth report on jawboning, in which he makes the case that even absent an explicit threat, government can suppress disfavored speech by dissuading intermediaries from carrying it.
These demands supplant platforms' private judgment as to what they want to carry or refrain from carrying with that of the government, and that clearly violates the First Amendment.
These gray areas about what the government can and can't say to private companies could be cleared up when the Supreme Court rules on the matter later this year. I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.